I love this.
You are
Hello.
in the show, and we are here with Jen Gitomer, Sales in a New York Minute. How are you, my friend?
I am awesome. How are you?
I am really, really excited to be talking to you, specifically because there is so much lack of information, misinformation, upside down information about sales. And of course, there always has been. But now in particular, I think it's been magnified and amplified to the tune of crazy. So what are you seeing with your clients and the people that you're working with? They're putting on the, brakes. Are they, what are they doing? I mean, they obviously can't stop selling, but what's the sales update for this current minute in a New York Minute?
Well, it's interesting, and I'm sorry if I'm looking away for a second. I'm just trying to share our stream here on my phone. But it's interesting that you say it's obvious that they can't stop selling, because to me, that is obvious. And to you, it's obvious. But the number one question that I have been asked over the past 2 weeks is, Jen, can I really be selling right now? Literally, no joke. I was talking to a group of women, because I'm in a lot of like women entrepreneur groups. And let me see if I could pull it up. I was talking to these women, and I created this slide deck because literally I'm gonna show you this, because can I share something?
You can. You have that ability. This will be
exciting. This is so cool. Okay, you're probably gonna see all my messages and all my stuff, but that's okay. I don't really have much to hide. So okay, let's see here. Let me take that thing away. Go to Keynote. Check this out. Can you see this? Can I sell right now?
We can now.
No joke. This is the number one question that I keep getting asked all day long. And I'm like, wait a minute. When did I know there's no like guidebook and there's no handbook to live through a pandemic, but like, when did anyone say you couldn't sell? And why do you think you need my permission to sell? Like, what? The world didn't stop. We're just doing things from our houses. And so then my answer is this. Like, absolutely, without a doubt, 100%, yes. And so it's just kind of interesting that we started the conversation off that way, because I just keep getting asked that. And I think there's three things that I'm seeing people need right now if they're going to be selling. And one is relevancy. Your offer, your message, they have to be relevant. And it is not an elephant in the room. Like, it is not just like in 9/11, right? I lived in New York, so I was experiencing it firsthand. There were people at the other parts of the country and the world who were affected by it, but weren't impacted in the same way if you didn't live there, right? Or no, whatever. Right now, this is so different. Pretty much everyone in the world, except I think there's like one country that didn't shut their people down, but everyone is going through the exact same thing. I was talking to our virtual assistant today, the founder of the company from the Philippines, and they're on lockdown. Like, everyone in the world is experiencing this. And so if you have a service or product that can be helpful to people during this time, of course you should be selling it. And so relevancy of offer and relevancy of message is so key, because people who are just trying to sell what they normally sell and not tweak the message, that's falling flat on their face. I mean, that's not hitting with people, in my opinion. All these banner things are so cool. I know.
It's like, we're watching Bloomberg or something. Yes, it's flying by. We got comments, and Donna's here. Other people are here. So yeah, we'd love to hear actually comments, questions, as we start going down our interview here with Jen. Pop in and let's talk about your book.
Sure.
I want to talk about your book, because your book was super relevant before. There it is. Super relevant before. It's about getting attention quickly. It's about connecting with prospects quickly. It's about adding value quickly. It's about getting to the point quickly. And it's all these great things about messaging and approach and prospecting and negotiating and really serving and helping clients more so than forcing any kind of crazy crap down their throats. Talk about how the book came to be and how the book is sort of now perhaps even more relevant as a handbook for these crazy upside down times.
Yeah. So, well, first of all, I personally have a short attention span. So I designed the book for people like me, where you could pick this book up literally on any page in the book. I just picked a random page. And basically those 2 pages are a little vignette. They're a little lesson, a little strategy, and you can pick it up anywhere. And so I talk about how to create more loyal relationships that will eventually lead to money, right? And right now, during this time, what do we've got? We've got community. I mean, the people stepping up, hopping on StreamYard, things like this, or hopping on Zooms and connecting. I mean, I've been on 3 Zoom calls today and it's only 10 a.m. Like, I'm connecting with people from all over the world, and you could be doing that too. And so when I wrote this book, I wrote it because I felt like it was the sales book I had always wanted. I wanted people to feel like I was talking to them. So it's friendly and it's conversational. It's not lectury. I wanted people to, it has good design, like every page or every couple of pages has like, some sort of design so that it's visually appealing. You can see, let me see if I can bring you over there. Hold on. This is going to be kind of cool, I think, or it's going to be
screens. We're doing PowerPoints, book layouts. Show us everything.
Yeah. So, I disconnected the most important piece to this. Sorry. Whoops.
Camera schmamera. Who cares? Who cares?
Start cam.
You're
okay.
Back.
Sorry. I messed that part up. But let's see if I can at least show you through this camera. Can you see that wall over there and maybe like those pages on the wall?
Yes, it looks like artwork from a distance, but having been there myself, those are actually the page layouts plastered up on your wall.
Yeah. So as I was writing the book, I used Jeffrey's method of putting the book on the wall so that I could really focus on the architecture of the book and the design of it, so that it wasn't just words to a page, but I would literally like take a page down, say, okay, this page needs to go all the way over there, or, oh, we need a full page quote so that we can keep people's attention, that kind of thing. Ken
Walls. He's everywhere, this guy. We can't get away from him. Jen and I both try. It doesn't work.
He is everywhere. And so putting it up on the wall so you could see like the whole architecture was huge. But basically, I broke the book down into different chapters. So the first part is all about you. It's about your attitude, your mindset, your belief system, all the things you need that are really foundational and at the core of selling. And then the second part, the big chunk in the middle, you can see it right here. That's all about selling and sales strategies and creating those relationships and asking for the follow-up and the referral and all those things. And then the last part is about life. And it's kind of funny because a lot of the things that I wrote in the book are so true, even more so today. And one of the things I ask people in the life section to consider is like, who are the people in your life that you're grateful for? And when was the last time, if ever, that you told them? And now more than ever is a really great time to just pick up that phone and literally just thank them and I suggest in my book to use a video message, ironically. Yes, 100%. And so, just do a little video on your phone and like film it or whatever. And you can see I broke a nail today. So I'm going to hide that one. Do a little video on your phone and just shoot it out as a text message to someone saying how grateful you are to them. You don't know who you can make smile today, and you don't know who you can make today's day, maybe week, maybe someone's going through a rough time. And if they've impacted you, why not tell them? And so I talk about that in the book at the end, which is ironic because it's like a sales book, but I have such strong beliefs about this life stuff that people aren't doing that they could be doing. And I felt it was my platform and my time to share that.
So wait a minute, I'm lost now. You feel that your book is your platform, like you can say what you want in your own damn book?
Hell yeah.
I don't get that. I have no idea because I've filled my books with what other people told me to say.
What? I don't believe that.
Yeah, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
I love that.
Let me
Yeah.
throw up a fantastic question from Don Levy. And I don't know about, I'm sure the answer is yes, because I'm not sure the answer is yes, but let's ask Jen. Are companies focused on their current situation, or are they already starting to plan for what's on the other side of this crisis so they hit the ground running? What do you think?
So yes, yes, and yes. Some companies are focused on like right now, we need to get our employees up and running. We need to figure out digital things that will connect them, maybe voice over IP phones. Like they were not set up to work from home. And so they're literally scrambling to get all of their employees connected. I was talking to a support person at GoDaddy, you know, the website hosting thing, and yesterday, and I'm like, your connection is just really bad. Wasn't trying to be rude, but it was so hard to hear him. I'm like, are you using a headset? Like, can you turn that thing off? What's going on? He's like, you should have heard us last week. He's like, we are all working from home and we were not prepared in any way or set up in any way to work from home. So companies like that, it's no like ding to GoDaddy. There's thousands of companies out there that weren't prepared to work from home. Other companies are like, figure it out. Here's a day. We got this. And now let's figure out how to recover it. Let's figure out what we can be doing right now, where we can be investing in. Maybe it's investing in courseware for your people. Maybe it's investing in books. Maybe it's just investing in like meetings where there's conversations and town hall things going on. And then other companies are seriously looking at what is going to happen when we all go back to work. What does that look like? And how can we be most prepared to really hit the ground running? And so the answer to that is yes, all around, in my opinion. What do you think, David?
I think this is like the 5 stages of grief, right? So yes. Some companies are still in organizational shock and they're not listening to any advice, no matter how sound, no matter how relevant. Some are in that second or third phase where I totally agree with you, Jen, that if you come on their radar with highly relevant, highly valuable, super simple messaging about how you can help them deal with that exact hair on fire issue, they will listen. And I think some companies are, going through those 5 stages of grief more quickly, and they are positioning themselves for the restart. And they are marshaling their resources, and they are future focused and possibility focused. I think, and I know that you talk a lot about mindset, and boy, if mindset was important before, how important is mindset now? What are some of the mindset hacks that you're sharing with your clients and your audiences? Because if we listen to the news, God help us if we listen to the news, everything is gloom and doom, and there's actually sirens going on behind me right now. I
can hear them.
And it's just crazy. So how can we consistently and continually reset our mindset for the kinds of things we should be focusing on?
Yeah. So number one, don't listen to the news. That's just dumb. They're in sales too. And guess what they're selling you? They're selling you bad news. They're selling you, I don't even want to call it fake news. They're selling you something scary so that you want to come back and find the next thing in hope, because we're humans and we have a natural instinct to hope for something better. And so you keep going back there hoping that there's going to be something better. And guess what you find? More crap. So stop watching the news. It's just crap. And if you want to know what's going on, I promise you, people will tell you. Okay. I had no idea what's going on. I know what's going on in the world, but like someone's like, hey, Cuomo is sick. Okay, cool. I got my news. I don't need to read a whole article about what's going on in his life. How is that going to help me? How is that going to help you? Here's the thing. It's not. And so, yes, no news. Then the second thing is I'm a huge proponent. I love meditation. I used to hate it because I'm from New York, right? So like I want everything quick. I want everything right now. I didn't understand meditation. What is stopping, slowing down, pausing your brain? What is this thing and why is it taking so long and when am I supposed to feel it? And I promise you, if you keep doing it consistently, like as in every day for 10 minutes a day, and right now I think everyone has 10 minutes a day that they can find, you will reap massive benefits from it. There are days now, even before this, like in a stressful day, there would be times where I might meditate twice in one day. And I might just say like, maybe something crappy is going on, or I heard some news that, I have to process or whatever. I will just go to my Zen couch. Yes, I have a Zen couch, Zen. And I will lay down, and I don't know how to do it on my own. So I pay $10 a month or whatever it is to Headspace, and Andy walks me through it. He's awesome. I love him. Jeffrey hates him, but doesn't hate him, but doesn't like his voice. So, you have to find what works for you. There's tons of meditation apps out there like Calm and various other things. Find something to give you peace, because when you slow your brain down, when you slow your body down, you will be able to be more creative and think through things better. And so mindset hacks like meditation is one, no news is another, journaling and visualizing something good. So every day, so I'm launching something right now, and every day I spend a couple minutes a day intentionally visualizing the outcome. So just to like be very specific about it, when I was writing my book, I visualized turning it in every day. I knew the exact letter I was going to send to my publisher when it was ready, because I had visualized that letter that said, "Dear," his name's Dave too, "Dear Dave, the final manuscript is attached, blah, blah, blah."
Nice.
I visualized that email every day until it became a reality. And so right now, especially the power of our minds, our minds are so powerful. And there's a reason why Napoleon Hill and all these people have said, what you think about becomes your reality, and you create your reality from your thoughts. And so if you're questioning where you are and what your current reality is, you should be going back to your thoughts and asking yourself, what are my thoughts and how helpful are they to me? So I'm launching this community for female entrepreneurs, and I keep envisioning the first 2,000 members in the community.
Well, now that we've opened the door,
oh, yes,
we need to hear a whole lot more about this. Can you share some details? I know it's beta.
Yeah.
I know it's launching. I know it's exciting, but
yeah. So
I want to hear about this for two reasons. Number one, whatever you're up to is always going to be awesome. But number two, I bet there's some lessons in there about how we can, as thought leaders, as experts, how we can pivot, how we can flex, how we can expand what we're doing when a lot of people are contracting or hiding under their desks.
Yes.
So tell us about the new venture, and tell us about how you're architecting it now in this time of turmoil.
Sure. So when I started off and I said, like, people are asking me if they can sell, I came up with this formula of 3 things that are needed right now to sell: relevancy, relationships, and perceived value. So, I broke that nail too. So Ken Walls will tell you my nails are always perfect. So I'm like, this is no fun for me. But anyway, but this recording is fun. So relevancy we went through. Relationships are huge right now, more than ever. Not just continuing to focus on your existing relationships, but also how do you build new relationships while you're home? And if you're going to offer something, then the customer needs to perceive the value. And so those are the 3 things that I really focused on, and what could be relevant to people right now, bring people together, and have a ton of perceived value. And I kept getting on these Zoom calls with females, where business women, entrepreneurs, where I would hear them say, "Jen, I wish I had more people to have these kinds of conversations with, because it's hard for females sometimes to find their tribe and to find the people that are like crazy type A workers like me who want to get shit done and work their butts off. And we're all out there, but we don't necessarily have a home to go to where we can like congregate with each other and rise up together. And so I created the Breakthrough Business Babe community first as a free Facebook group. And then I realized this is way more than that. This is a new platform. It's a new online networking community for women who can come together. We're going to have monthly and actually more than once a month. We're going to have twice a month networking meetings on Zoom where everyone gives a commercial. And I ran massive networking meetings in New York. So, and I built networking groups. And so I've done this in person and now I'm going to do it online. But then you'll love this. In addition to the networking meetings, I'm going to be like, picture Fiddler on the Roof, the matchmaker. I'm going to be the Yenta. Okay. And I am going to connect people with other people who need to know each other. So I'm going to be meeting, and it's an application thing. You have to apply. And I'm going to be meeting with every single person who comes into that group. And I'm going to have the power, the ability to connect the right people with each other to make sure they're having these amazing one-on-one meetings. Now, that to me was something that is needed. And so it was just born out of this need. And the waitlist page, by the way, is breakthroughbusinessbabe.com/waitlist. And so as soon as the application is ready, when you sign up there, you'll get notified that the application is ready. And it's $37 a month because I wanted to make it affordable. There's going to be member spotlights, referral, it's going to be a whole referral network for women. And I just thought, what better time than right now to make this happen? Because yes, people want sales strategies. And yes, like there are people who are reading my book and they message me and they love the book and all that. But what do you need right now? And that's what I started thinking about. And what I suggest to my customers is, if you have no idea what your customers need right now, call them. Pick up the phone and ask them, like, David, how many phone calls have you had recently, Zoom meetings with your customers, just listening?
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Well, so let's talk about pick up the phone. And by the way, did I get this URL correct?
I think so. I'll double check.
BreakthroughBusinessBabe.com/waitlist.
Yep, that's it.
When people get this on the podcast, that'll be in the show notes right below this episode at thespeakingshow.com. And Jen's going to have some other resources and links and websites and all kinds of crazy stuff that we'll talk about at the end. But so yeah, let's talk about that whole concept of the phone, because people didn't like the phone before. And now we have all these self-limiting beliefs and all this head trash. Well, I'm sure they're really busy. I'm sure their hair is on fire. I'm sure they're dealing with a crisis. I'm sure that blah, blah, I'm sure that fill in the blank. Can't call them. Don't want to bother them. They're probably hiding under their desk. I'm going to go hide under my desk. It was hard enough, correct, to get people to pick up the damn phone before?
Yeah.
So what's the new encouragement? What's the new post-COVID-19, pick up the phone now more than ever? What's that argument to be made?
I mean, okay, so have you ever been gone through a rough time before or been sick in the past?
Big time.
Of course, we've all had experienced something like that, right? Some sort of setback or some moment in time. Who do you remember? Do you remember the people that were not there for you? Do you remember the people who hid under their desk and avoided whatever the situation was that was going on? Or do you remember those people, and sometimes you're surprised, like totally surprised by the people who see you're going through something and pick up the phone and call to see how you're doing. And those are the people that will be lifelong friendships, connections, relationships, referral connections. Those are the people you remember. And so, I've seen a lot of leaders lately say, it's okay, we're all going through this. And so if you need to just do your own thing and hide and not show up online right now, that's totally okay. And that's one perspective. My perspective is, if that's how you feel, sure, continue that way. But just remember, who are people going to remember when we come out of this? And do you want to be the person that they said, wow, David brought fire during that time. David had this online show. He brought in amazing guests. He talked about amazing things. He gave me so many strategies. He gave me he gave me life because he was invigorating me with his inspirational ideas. Or do you just not want to be remembered? And so I know it's kind of harsh to put it that way, but it's the truth. And so if you're going through a rough time, I get it. Give yourself that time, that grace. I mean, for the first 2 weeks of this thing, I was MIA. I was self-isolating from Jeffrey, my husband, because I had just traveled to California, and I was in Laguna, which I now found out was one of the biggest hot spots in California. And I was nervous and I didn't want to get him sick. So it was kind of depressing for me. I was going down the rabbit hole of the news every day without even realizing. And I was kind of hiding. And by kind of, I mean, I was not showing up anywhere. And once I just got myself out of it, I allowed it's like you said at the beginning, the 5 stages of grief. You have to allow yourself to feel all the feels. You have to allow yourself to go through those emotions and experience them so you can come out the other end and start helping people.
Yes. Amen. Amen times 10. I also want to talk a little bit about sales leadership. And obviously people that are listening to us, they may be solopreneurs, they may be working in a small to medium-sized business, they may be working for a big company. So either we are our own sales leader or sales manager, or we have an actual sales leader or sales manager or someone who is overseeing our sales activities. What should sales leaders be doing today in this environment, just like with some of the things you shared, to encourage and nurture and keep the head up either of their sales team or, again, if we're solo and we're our own sales manager, of ourselves? But I'm really asking about sales leaders who have sales teams, because we look to the leader, don't we?
Yeah, everyone does.
So what would be the sales leadership message or coaching that you could give to folks listening in that are in that role?
So if I were your leader, I would be asking myself, what do my people need right now? And as the leader, your people best. And so you need to be asking yourself, what do they need? And in my opinion, it boils down to probably 2 things. They need hope and they need help. And it's your job as the leader to provide hope and inspiration and show them that there's always a rainbow at the end, that there's always that silver lining, and you just have to go out and find it. And it's your job to demonstrate that and give specific stories and examples and create the evidence, because, right, we're like, the human brain is like scientific, right? We're always looking for evidence. And right now, if people are caught up in the news, they're seeing evidence of people dying, and it's like doom and gloom and da da da. But like the statistical models that they've been showing are actually showing we're going to be just fine. And if you look for evidence of other things, like during the Great Depression, Kellogg's and Post, hey, Jeffrey, Kellogg's and Post, that my friend was talking about this in our workshop the other day. They both went through the same experience, just, at the same time. And Kellogg's decided, we're going to double down on our advertising. We're going to come out with a new product. We're going to pivot. We're going to launch something. We're going to do what the country needs right now. They launched Rice Krispies, by the way, during that time. And guess who came out on top? Post kind of disappeared. Post hid. Post did nothing. And like, I don't know what cereals are Post. Like, they have like a Post Bran or Raisin Bran or something, but no one eats that. People eat Rice Krispies, and you all know the Kellogg cereals. And so now is actually a time, if you look at the evidence of other things that our country and companies have gone through, and you look at all the amazing pivots that have happened and all the countries that have come out, not countries, sorry, companies that have come out on top because they were looking towards the future and figuring out what they can do, not what they can't do, then all of a sudden you can create a bank of evidence for your people to show them that you guys are going to be okay.
Right.
I eat Wheaties.
Is that true?
I don't know. Don't you eat something weird? You eat some cereal that I was like, that has so much sugar in it. It's like at the bottom shelf and where the kids look.
Ah. Fantastic. See, now we know the truth. Now we know what's really going down there in the cereal aisle.
He transitioned to a less sugary cereal. I forget. It might be Wheaties. I forget.
Crazy. I'm transitioning to more bourbon. That's my transition.
Yeah, I hear you. So, okay, there's another thing though sales leaders can be doing, and we did this with our team. This is not because Jeffrey is on here. I was going to bring this up anyway. This book, and there are other books in the category of attitude and personal development, is an amazing book reading, book club kind of thing. Yeah. So we started a book club with our employees where every morning we get on a phone call and for 10 to 15 minutes, we talk about the last 20 pages that we all read the previous night. So it does two things. Number one, it gives everyone focused time to focus on something positive. And number two, when you come together as a community or as a team and you're talking about a shared thing that you've just read, it's bonding. And now you're talking about how do we implement that right now? How do we put that into action right now? And especially right now. And so for those of you listening on the podcast, I held up the Little Gold Book of Yes Attitude by Jennifer Gitomer.
People are like, what book is she holding? What book is she holding? So the live stream people saw it, but good. Thank you for the visually impaired update.
Yeah, no problem. And so, but you know, I'm biased to that book because my husband wrote it, and I think it's one of the best personal development books of all time. It's not the only book. You can go on Amazon and search for books, or you can go to our recommended reading lists. I'm sure you have one too, David, and like find positive books right now. You know, another favorite one of mine is Dollars Flow Easily to Me. Have you read that?
I have not.
Oh my goodness. Okay. It's literally one of my favorite books. It's so small. It's like a thin book. I read it in, I don't know, an hour or two, and I read it almost every month. Because it's all about creating abundance, and it's all about believing that dollars flow easily to you. And what better time than right now to have that belief, right? And so every time I read it, the reason I reread it is because every time I read it, I'm in a different place in life and I pick up different tidbits.
For sure. For sure. Let's talk about how we might pivot our offers, because I love this whole breakthrough business babe idea.
Yeah.
I think there's two approaches to reinvention or pivoting or flexing, or call it what you want. There's a little pivot, a little flex, like let me do what I've always done on Zoom. Let me say what I've always said on video. Let me generate leads the way I've always done, except on a webinar. And that is like a 5-10% pivot, shift, flex, whatever you want to call it. We, in our business, are looking at everything. It is literally a clean slate exercise that, because there's 10 people that work here, like you guys have a big team as well. We're thinking, what business do we want to be in? What business do our clients need us to be in and want us to be in? And if we ignore everything that's come before, take all the past success, take all the sunk costs, but no, you have a website about that. But no, you've written a book about that. Forget it. Nothing exists. Today is day zero.
Yeah.
What would we build? So there's obviously, that's two extremes, right? Is 5% shift or 100% shift. How are you telling your clients to relook at things, pivot, shift, flex, everything in their world, everything in their sales career, everything in their business?
So it starts with two things: what you're good at, your zone of genius, and what your customers need. Because just because you're good at it, I could be the best cook on the planet, which I'm not, by the way. I'm like the worst cook. Okay. But I could be the best cook on the planet. And if my customers need sales help and they don't look at me for cooking techniques, like it really doesn't matter. Right. And so there has to be that alignment there of what are you good at? What services can you offer? And what do they need? And I always suggest, like, first, you can do these things kind of at the same in the same day. You don't need to like take time in between, but outline all the jobs you've had, outline all the things. If you're an entrepreneur, outline all the products and services you've come up with. What's been your favorite? What's been the most successful? Where have you really thrived? What are you most passionate about? What do you feel like you can do really well? Because when you're pivoting, David, like you're talking about, okay, now we're going to do that online. You're not like totally changing. You're not going to randomly all of a sudden out of nowhere talk about skydiving and those techniques. Like you're still talking about marketing. You're still talking about speaking, right? And selling. You're just maybe talking about it in a different way. And so you have to get really close to your skill set and your zone of genius. And then also take a walk in your customer's shoes. What do they need right now? Like my aunt sells, what are those products? Like home good kind of products, like containers and various things, but she sells them wholesale to huge companies like Bed Bath and Beyond and Walmart and on all the things, right? And so it was interesting because a lot of people aren't buying like containers to hold their shoes in right now. But you know what they are buying is they're buying water bottles so that they can create disinfectant sprays. And so she had an order last night for like 6,000 water bottles. And so you have to think about, okay, what does my customer need? They don't need the shoe container. They need the disinfectant spray. How do I deliver that to them? How do I put that in my messaging? And that's why like the relevancy of your offer, especially if you're going to pivot, is so key.
Yeah, there's a great story, and I forget, I was listening to someone's podcast or webinar, but they said that there was an accounting firm, and the accounting firm was like every other accounting firm, right? And they sent out a little message saying, hey, by the way, there are these loans and whatever, and every accounting firm is saying, hey, there are these loans. These folks, they completely changed their business, and they said, we are now only working with manufacturing companies to totally max out the loans, the assistance, the emergency funding. And I think the story goes, the last 6 weeks, they generated more revenue than all of 2019.
Oh my goodness.
They worked with these big manufacturing companies who obviously had to let go hundreds and hundreds of people, thousands of people, whatever. They've got capital investments. They are the engine of the economy on a certain level. And so they have hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars of loans and grants and, the forgivable loans that we're doing now. And this company totally shifted everything, took down the old website, put up a new website. They said, wow. Hey, who wants to do this work? You guys want to do this work? Great. You're now not accountants anymore. Now you're federal loan specialists. And it just totally went crazy because that's what people were hungry for. That's how they could take what they were good at is let's figure out the bean counting and the filling out the forms and the spreadsheets like we used to do with taxes. But now let's do it on these forms to help these people with that problem.
So let's break that down. They took their expertise, they niched it down, they figured out a repeatable process they could do all day and a market that needed it more than anyone. And they took fast, inspired action. And I think that's another key right now is fast, inspired action. And I'm not just saying fast because I'm from New York. You have to be fast right now. Every day there are massive changes and you have to keep up. And in order to keep up, you can't just be sitting, thinking, overthinking, overanalyzing. Should I do it this? Just put it out. If it doesn't work, you'll know pretty quickly. And then you'll have data and you can tweak it.
That is such a great point right there that we always used to say, well, market feedback, put it out there, see what happens. Now that your ideation and execution should be faster than ever. And I think, to your point, you will totally know faster than ever
Yes.
what works and what lands like a dud.
Yeah, 100%.
Marketplace feedback has been amplified and accelerated. You'll be flooded with orders or you'll be completely ignored.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%.
Speaking of flooded with orders, here, let's put this back. Hang on. We got to do a little more plugging for you.
Oh.
Boom. This is going to be flooded with waitlist applications. Breakthroughbusinessbabe.com/waitlist. Let me ask you just a sidebar question, but obviously directly related to this. You decided women, right? Women entrepreneurs, women business owners, women solopreneurs. What do women typically need or want that is different or on a different frequency or a different channel, so to speak, than male entrepreneurs, business owners, CEOs, etc.? What have you noticed in working with hundreds and hundreds and thousands of them, probably?
So, I mean, we're just different. And yes, that's stereotyping. Not all women are different.
Right.
But let me tell you, most women I have spoken to who start a business have different needs and thoughts and just different than males. And so it's fun to be able to say and to be able to help, because I've been there. I've gone through those same feelings, the limiting beliefs that you talked about, the head trash that you talked about. Yes, as a society, we all experience it, but I think women experience it, and Jeffrey said designer shoes. But I think women experience it in different ways. And so I love that, honey. So, and so it's just fun to be able to communicate at that same wavelength. Also, I have found that women are really good listeners. And so right now, during a time where people need to feel heard, people need to feel listened to, this is a time for women to rise up more than any other time, because our skill set of listening, that mother nurturing kind of skill set, is needed right now more than ever. And we can use it. I know it's been talked about like as bad in business, but guess what? It can be good in business if you use it to your advantage and your customer's advantage.
Right. Amen times 10. Well, I've got two final questions for you as we're here in the home stretch. The final question is, besides breakthroughbusinessbabe.com/waitlist, where can we send people? What should we link up in the show notes so when people go to this episode at thespeakingshow.com, they see all the links, all the cool things that you want to send them to? That's going to be question number 2. Question number 1, before that, if folks were to take one central idea from Sales in a New York Minute or how to sell in the current upside down crazy turmoil, what would you hope that one central sales concept might be?
Do something you love. Don't just try to sell something right now because you think you can make a market out of it and get rich quick off of it. Like, don't be that guy who hoarded all the Purell and Lysol wipes and all that shit in his garage. Like, just start with your passion and what's inside of you. And no matter if you're pivoting or changing your business slightly or doing something a little bit different, do something you love, because you will love waking up, doing it every day, and it will show in everything you do.
Such fantastic advice. Where can people get connected and stay connected to more Jen Gitomer brilliance? Where can we send people and link them up below this episode?
Yeah, so I actually have a goal map of that talks about like where you are right now and where you were and where you need to get to grow. And so I'll send you that link so that we can link it up in the it's not a pretty link, so I have to give you a pretty one.
Right.
But it's a free download, personal goal map, and I'll make sure you get that.
Excellent. And then if we are worthy to get in to the Breakthrough Business Babe community,
yes,
we can hop on the wait list.
Hell yeah. So actually anyone can hop on the wait list, and as soon as probably Sunday, you will start receiving the applications to apply.
Breakthroughbusinessbabe.com/waitlist.
/waitlist.
Well, but eventually the doors will be open and it won't be /waitlist. It'll be you better apply and you better hope that we let you in.
That is correct. That is
I
correct.
love it. Well, Jen Gitomer, you are a rock star. I appreciate you. This has been fantastic. We have to have you back on the show.
That would be awesome. Thanks for having me on.